White has become the standard color for airplanes' exteriors. While stylish, it's also a calculated decision by many airlines. White essentially reflects sunlight instead of absorbing it like other colors do. This is great for keeping the plane's interior temperature down. It's the same as getting into a white car on a sunny day. Its inside is probably cooler than a black car's would be. And since constant exposure to sunlight often causes many colors to fade anyway thanks to oxidation, white becomes a practical choice. White is easy to spot, whether in the air, on the ground, or in the case of a crash, in the sea. And it's easy to see cracks or chips in the paint when that paint is white. This detection is important because dirt and moisture can quickly collect in these chips, becoming sites of corrosion that could eat away at the aircraft's body. This is one reason, in fact, that planes are usually painted at all instead of being left as polished metal. Painted metal more readily resists corrosion than unpainted metal. You'll often see plastic, fiberglass, or carbon fiber painted white on planes, too. This is because these parts of the plane are easily susceptible to sun damage, which the white paint helps prevent. So, why aren't all planes pure white? Advertising. After a white base, airlines will often paint their brand name on the side and their colors on the tail of the plane.
In the past 50 years, hundreds of millions of Americans have gotten the flu shot. If you're one of them, you might have experienced a pretty common side effect, a sore arm. Is this merely the result of getting a metal needle jabbed into your muscle? Nope. When you get a shot, your body starts working overtime in order to keep you healthy. A flu shot works by tricking your immune system into thinking a live flu virus has invaded your body. Really, the virus is inactivated, which means it's dead and can no longer infect you. But your body doesn't know that. To your body, the flu shot is full of dangerous antigens, foreign substances that create an immunologic response. And an immunologic response is when your immune system activates white blood cells to respond to an invader. So once the vaccine deposits the antigens, your immune system jumps into action. It swarms the injection site. Some white blood cells produce antibodies that attack the antigen and latch onto it. Other cells whisk antigens away to different parts of your body, and still others call for reinforcements. All this activity means inflammation, and enough inflammation causes pain, as well as the occasional fever or swelling if you're particularly unlucky. The good news, however, is that a little soreness means that the vaccine is doing its job. Consider the flu shot as a practice run for your immune system. By learning to respond to the harmless look-alike antigen of the vaccine, your body prepares itself to respond to the actual virus. It's a trait, though, of an invasive species of insects commonly known as fire ants. These are some six-legged guests you don't want at your picnic. If you live in Texas or the southeastern United States, you've likely been warned about fire ants. Their name comes from their painful, venomous sting, which creates a burning sensation in their victim. First, the ant latches on with its strong mandibles. Then, it stabs its sharp stinger repeatedly. The burning sting, combined with red coloration and aggressive behavior, certainly make them some fiery creatures. If you don't bother fire ants, they won't bother you. But beware knocking over a mound. The ants respond to disturbances. When they sense your movement, they won't hesitate to swarm. Once a single ant starts biting and stinging, its companions will follow suit. The stings leave red spots on your skin that eventually become unpleasant white pustules. Ouch! While there are methods to control fire ants, be sure to check with an expert first. In the meantime, if your picnic risks a fire ant run-in, maybe you should eat indoors. Health researchers are worried about the sleep health of people in the United States generally. More than 1 in 3 U.S. adults sleep fewer than 7 hours per night, the minimum recommended by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. In 2020, a group of health researchers published a review summarizing data from many studies showing a relationship between wealth inequality and racial inequality and sleep problems in United States residents. Data published by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows that people with lower income and racial and ethnic minorities get less sleep. More than 33% of those living in households with incomes below the poverty level chronically get fewer than 7 hours of sleep per night. This sleep gap is due to a complex system of disadvantages. People who work multiple jobs are 61% more likely to sleep fewer than 6 hours on a weeknight because of the time spent at work and commuting between jobs. High housing prices in urban centers push lower-income people farther out from those centers, forcing them to spend more time commuting to work. The stresses of food insecurity, discrimination, and unfavorable neighborhood characteristics play a role too. The researchers argue that sleep health is not simply a matter of individual choice, but involves multiple levels of influence, from interpersonal factors to community influences to the broader society.
People choke for many reasons. Choking under pressure is more than a flub. Choking happens when a person experiences a dramatic drop in his or her normal skill when under pressure. Choking results from a psychological event. Any situation that involves high pressure to succeed can cause choking. Whether you're giving the toast at a wedding or kicking that game-winning field goal, the importance of the event and the prospect of being judged by others can cause choking. Research shows that when activities require thinking, we're more prone to choke, and when we see familiar faces, our self-conscious pressure builds, making it even harder to think and perform. So what can people do to ward off psychological choking hazards? First, practice putting yourself in realistic, stressful practice situations where you exercise hyper-attention to detail, like when students take practice exams. Second, control your focus. If you're singing an aria, put less attention on the step-by-step maneuvers of the performance and more on how your song fills the room. Last, rethink your stress. Remember that a beating heart and sweaty palms are signs that your body is ready to perform, not indications that you're going to fail.